Hi everybody, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Adam and I live in Poland and commute to the UK for work. Have a YouTube channel called the Super Commuting Dad. All the information can be found on there. The reason for today's video is I thought it would be helpful trying to remember that my channel or videos are supposed to really be about commuting rather than life in Poland itself, and it's easy to sometimes talk too much about Poland or the language or the people and stuff like that. So today a video on commuting, my 13 tips on air travel. So for the last 8 months I've been traveling every weekend apart from 3. Actually this weekend I'm staying in the UK as well. So I fly to Poland on a Friday or a Thursday evening and fly back to the UK either Sunday evening, Monday morning, depending on what's going on with work. Thought it'd be useful to make a video on tips for airport travel. Some of these are maybe very obvious. These are things that I've learned over the last 8 months. So without further ado, first thing, check flight prices every single day. Know what a good price is, and as soon as you see a good price, book it. So for example, I use wizzair.com most of the time. A good price for me to fly to Poland, believe it or not, is around £10.50 for a single flight. So I'm looking every day, is there a flight in next month, the month after that, even 6 months in advance. If I find a ticket on a Friday or a Monday or a Sunday or a Thursday that suits me, I will book that ticket. My thought is, if I need to change it because of work, I've lost £10, but actually that price will go up and up and up. It will not get much cheaper than £10 for a flight. So every morning I log on, I check, takes 5 minutes, well worth it. Second tip, if parking at the UK airport, don't always assume that you can only park on the airport parking. Or at the airport parking. I have recently discovered through a friend of my mum that there are many websites in the UK. The one I use is called yourparkingspace.com, and essentially what that website does is you put the place that you want to travel from or where you want to park. So this can be anywhere, it doesn't have to be about airport travel, and it will give you a load of places where you can park and how much it will cost you by the hour or by the month. So for example, when I travel to Luton Airport the next week, I am parking at the Hilton Hotel, which is literally, sorry, not Hilton Hotel, it's the Holiday Inn. The Holiday Inn Hotel at Luton Airport, literally a 5-minute walk to the terminal, and that's costing me from Thursday evening to Monday morning £25. If I wanted to pay that park for the same amount of time at Luton Midterm car park, that's probably going to cost me £50. So not a big deal if you're flying just once every so often, but for me, every single week saves me hassle, saves me money. And the good thing is with that yourparkingspace.com is you can cancel within 24 hours and get a full refund. So for example, I missed a flight the other week when it was snowing in the UK. They wouldn't return my money from the Friday, but from midday on the Saturday they returned all of the money from there on, from the time that I was supposed to be parking. So highly recommended. There are others, but that's the one I use. Really recommend it. Number 3, check how many flights are departing around the same time as yours. So this really depends on the airport, where you're travelling from. For me, Luton Airport is always busy. It's always, for me, a morning flight until next week the flights change and I'll be travelling in the evening. So I'll assess that next week. But for me, Luton Airport in the morning is always really busy. There's lots of flights going all across Europe, many to Poland, all over the place. So I check in advance how many flights are going out at the same time, and then that tells me whether I need to pay anything extra for things like priority security. So Luton I always do because it's always busy. But Birmingham, for example, if I travel on a Friday evening, those flights have just changed, but I've always travelled on a Friday evening from Birmingham, and there's probably 3 flights going out of Birmingham after 9 p.m. on a Friday evening. So don't waste your money buying a security pass for a privilege to get to the front of the queue when there is no queue. 2 weeks ago, I literally was in the standard queue. There were a group of people going, I've got priority, and I've done this myself and learned straight away. And I was there at security, going through security before them, because there was no queue, there were no passengers, they were already at the gate. Number 4, find the origin of your flight for up-to-date reports. So, for example, when I fly back from Wrocław on a Monday evening to Birmingham and Sunday evening the other week, I will check that the flight from Wrocław to Birmingham was on time. That will tell me if the flight back to Wrocław, because it's like, a bus service, if that flight will be on time. Because sometimes the airport websites aren't up to date. I will also go as far as knowing that, for example, on a Monday evening, the flight goes from Wrocław to Dortmund, from Dortmund to Wrocław, from Wrocław to Birmingham, from Birmingham to Wrocław, or, that sort of journey or route. So I'll go as far as checking the Dortmund website. Oh, the flight's half an hour late. Minimum, my flight's going to be half an hour late. So I don't sit at the airport for hours unnecessarily. Sometimes I do, but that's a tip. Number 5, save time at security. So many people who travel for business, travel a lot, will do this anyway, but it really pisses me off when I'm in a queue or I'm at security and someone gets to the front and they get all their liquids out and they take their belt off and they take their coat off and my God, that gets on my nerves. So what I do, I never wear boots, because we wear boots, people are always told to remove them and put them through the machine. Never wear a zip-up hoodie, such as this one. Never wear a zip-up jumper at security, because it's counted as a jacket or a coat and you have to remove it. So I always wear trainers or shoes that are not boots. I always wear a jumper or a t-shirt that has not got a zip. And then as I arrive at the airport, I open my bag, put my phone, if my boarding pass is not on that phone, put my phone in, put my watch in, put my belt in, put my jacket in if I've got room, and normally I do because I've got most of my stuff in Poland, and half of it here, I suppose. So I do that, and that means when I get to the security check, I literally take out my laptop, and you would take out your liquids at that point. I never have any because I have them in England and Poland as well. So take out my laptop, shut my bag, through security, laptop back in at the other end, straight through. So yeah, get ready before you get to security. It makes things quicker. Number 6, if you don't have priority boarding, wait until last to board, especially if you have a backpack that will fit under the seat in front of you. So just chill. There's no, I don't think Polish people will mind me saying this, but most Polish people feel like they have to be first on an aeroplane. You don't. The plane's not going to leave without you. You've got your seat allocated. You know which seat you're in. If you've got a backpack, it'll go under the seat in front of you. You don't need to worry about where you're going to put your bag. However, if you do have a pulley, wheelie bag, bigger bag, maybe a different case, because now Wizz Air have started to do the same as Ryanair, and that is something like that. First 100 passengers are allowed their wheelie case on, and the others are asked to stow it, which means when you get to the other end, slows you down further because you've got to wait for your hand luggage to come around on the belt. So I always take a backpack, and that's another tip I haven't written down. If you can, take a backpack. There are lots of good ones out there on the market. I have a Swiss backpack that is brilliant for travel. Number 7, have an in-flight bag. So I literally carry with me a sunglass bag for sunglasses, and in that bag I have chewing gum. I have a problem with my left ear and popping it, so as we start to descend, pop chewing gum in, chew, and then I can pop my ears when I land. I have earplugs in there, I have earphones in there, and sometimes I have in there my little flashcards that is English Polish to learn on the flight. And then I just take that bag out of my backpack, put it in the seat in front of me, so I haven't got to gather everything up. It just speeds things up. So you could have whatever in there, sweets, headphones, whatever, some small snacks. Number 8, download podcasts or movies in advance. So I have Netflix. Before I travel, if I'm watching a series, I will download 2 hours worth of film or series so I can watch it on the plane. It makes the flight go so much quicker. Number 9, if you're going to plan on sleeping on the airplane, wear a hoodie. Yeah, because this one, for example, is awesome, although it's got a zip, and just cover my eyes up, and then take earplugs as well. So stick my earplugs in, hoodie over my eyes, especially if it's a really late flight, and get some sleep, because the cabin lights are constantly going on and off and on and off. So another little tip. Number 10, and again, I'm talking about Wizz Air specifically, who I do recommend, by the way. If you're traveling a lot, or even 3 times a year, buy the Wizz Air membership. So you can get a membership, I think it's €29, 29.99 euros, and that enables you and one other passenger travelling with you discounted ticket prices. So for example, a £17 ticket will become a £10 ticket. And you only need to travel a few times to save that amount of money. And for me, travelling, every weekend, probably 100 flights a year or 95 flights a year, I save a lot of money. Number 11. If you travel a lot like me, buy a Wizz Air privilege pass. I don't think Ryanair do an equivalent, and with EasyJet and people like that, I've never flown with them. They don't fly to Wrocław, so I've never flown with them. Buy a privilege pass. And what a privilege pass is with Wizz Air is £180 for 12 months. Works out something like £3 a flight or whatever. That gives you priority boarding if you choose to. It lets you choose a seat, including exit seats, which have extra legroom. So I have this, and I always get on the plane first. Despite what I said earlier on about wait until last aboard the plane, I said if you don't have priority boarding, I have priority boarding. So I get on the plane within the first maybe 10 people. I always sit in the first row, extra legroom. The problem with sitting in the first row of seats is that there is no seat in front of you to put your backpack on. So the reason I like to get on the plane first is to make sure that my bag is directly above my seat where I'm sitting. So it's worth every penny. What it means is I'm normally first off the plane, first through security, and first out the airport. And when you're commuting every week, you want that because you don't want to be spending all that time traveling. You want to reduce it as much as possible. So these tips help you to reduce your travel time. So yeah, buy the privilege pass from Wizz Air if you travel with them. Number 12, don't be a prick. And what I mean is be polite to people. Not everyone is polite and has good manners. So even if someone's a twat to you, I had a guy 2 weeks ago at Birmingham Airport. I made him look a right fool in front of a lot of people because he was pushing and shoving and trying to get in front. So I've got priority boarding, and next to me were two ladies with pushchairs. Good manners. Let the ladies go first. Ask them if they want any help with their bags. They've got a baby with nappies and bags and milk and bottles and a pushchair to carry down the stairs to the airplane. Help them out. Ask them, anything I can do to help you? Do you want me to carry a bag? People appreciate it. Just don't be a dick. And that includes the cabin crew as well. They've been on that aircraft going from Germany to Sweden to Poland, back to England, and they're doing it all day. So be polite, have good manners. Number 13, for me, this is really important. Don't clap when you land. That's what's supposed to happen. I've been on flights, mostly with Ryanair. I don't think it's happened with Wizz Air before, but you touch down and everyone starts clapping. I don't understand. That's what's supposed to happen. The pilot is supposed to keep you safe and touch down on the tarmac when you're landing. That's what's supposed to happen. I'm not going to clap and be thankful that I'm alive. You don't do it when a bus takes you somewhere or a train takes you somewhere. Why are you doing it when an aeroplane takes you somewhere? So those are my tips. I'm probably going to think of some more, and I'll probably post another video. So trying to remember that this is about commuting and not about the country where I live. So check out my other videos. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're interested in what goes on in our life. Please share, like, thumbs up. Much appreciated. Cheers.